We had a big move in 1973. We moved to Savannah, Georgia. We retired early, and Tom was there to take charge of the restaurant. Now, when I talk about this stopping drinking, I'm talking about when we moved to Arkansas on our last retirement move. But before that, we moved to Savannah, Georgia, and we were there for 17 years. And then here in Arkansas, we're here for 13 years. Tom was to take charge of the restaurants. We moved to the Landings on Skidaway Island, and we were the 47th house, and we lived at the Landings for 17 years. When we built our house, the road was a sandy lane. When we left, the Landings had grown to 2,500 plus houses, and it went from one golf course to 6. I think they've got 7 now, I'm not sure. And well, I do know one thing. Last year, one of the gals wrote and told me they had 496 ladies in the 18-hole golf league. That's not counting 9-holers. And when I went there, we had 12. Quite a change. I'm so glad I'm here. Oh my God, too many people. So anyway, we loved the marshes, we loved the beautiful golf courses, we loved the magnificent live oaks with all the Spanish moss and the delightful southern accents of the people. And then we had to leave 17 years later. Too many people. The day we moved into our home in Savannah, a neighbor came over to say hello, but mostly she said, "I heard that your name was Pearl, and I came to see if you were old or black." Well, they wouldn't have had any black people in that community. It seems true that women named Pearl were all either of an earlier generation or black. When I was 49 years old, and I was only suntan, so that did not apply to me. Our house was at 304 Landings Way, and then 3 years later we built a home on 9 Mad Turkey Crossing. The first home was on the 6th green, and then the second home, it was on the 3rd green and on the marsh also, another bonus. Our life at the Landings was the best ever. We played golf, there was bridge, there was art lessons, always a gin game at the club for Ralphie, shrimp boils, oyster rolls, beautiful Savannah. I really loved the South and still do. We did and still do a lot of traveling overseas, and my favorite today is Africa. It is the best of the faraway places. If you can only go to one place in your whole life, I say go to Africa, to the Ngorongoro Crater on the Serengeti Plains, and see the animals. The one thing that I really loved in Savannah was the archaeological digs. We took a course at Armstrong College, and then we went on an Earthwatch dig on St. Catherine's Island, off the coast of Georgia. We had to pay to be in this work group, and we lived in the old slave quarters, and we had to make meals for the group, not forever. Ralph and I cooked together for 3 meals. We made dinner, and then we made breakfast, and then we made sandwiches to take out for lunch. And then someone else did that for the next day and so forth, and there was 20 of us, and it was out in the digging. It was work, 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 and it was serious work. Oh, God, I was so tired. The first day after work, I laid down on the bed. I said, "Ralph, really, I think I'm going to die." Of course, you get used to it, and then you have fun. I had this gorgeous man with the curly blonde hair and the beautiful smile and a small build and a wonderful tan, Greg Polk, my teacher. We were there 3 weeks, and I learned the correct way to dig. Ralph was on the shaker looking for artifacts. We were working on the old Spanish mission, and we must have done good work because the boss was Dr. David Hurst Thomas, curator of the Museum of Natural History in New York City. He asked us to come back and work for free, which we did for 14 years. And even today, I got an email from Dave and Laurie. He was such a wonderful man, my friend and teacher Greg, and he died of AIDS a few years ago, and I still feel sad. Before he died, Greg sent me a mercury dime, and he told me that when I felt blue, hold it in my hand, and my thoughts would fly up to him. And I do it sometimes. He was so much fun to be with, and we had so many laughs. Once on St. Catherine's Island, we were surveying with a sensitivity machine to see where the tents were when the Wali, G-U-A-L-E, Wali Indians lived by the mission. You grid the whole area and you use the machine to register the density of the earth. You plunge it into the ground every 3 feet. But we had to pull lots and lots of brush away first to be able to work, to see the ground. So when we left for our slave quarters, I found I was covered with ticks. Black ones, dark shiny ones, brown ones, light brown ones, large ones, tiny ones, tick seeds, ticks with half moons on them. I took off all my clothes outside of the house. Outside of the house, I was naked. And I went in, anybody could see me, I didn't care. I had to get everything off, laid down on the bed, and Ralph used a tweezer and took them off of me, one at a time, and put them on a large piece of sticky tape. I had 200 on one leg. Unbelievable. And all over, I had over 500. He says, 500. He says, I'm through counting. I didn't swell, and they didn't itch very much. This was so amazing. The next day, back to work. No time off, no sympathy. I put my socks over my long pants, and I duct taped them together. I taped my sleeves with duct tape, and my neck also. I should have done that in the first place. Even days later, a week later, I would find them in my hair. But that's the fun of working in the wilderness. Later at home, I went to the doctor to check for Lyme's, but I was okay. Next time, I said, I'll know what to do.